Welcome to Fertility Talks. I'm here with Dr. Cristina Gavilan, and I am in Mallorca. So here I am on my holidays, and I thought, hey, what the heck? Let's see if there's fertility clinics in Mallorca. And for those who do not know, Mallorca is in Spain. So I'm very fortunate to be here speaking with Dr. Gavilan. So let me just give you a little brief introduction. So she's a gynecologist who specializes in fertility, and she's done all of her training in Madrid, and she's been in Mallorca for 8 years now. And this clinic, how do I pronounce the name of the clinic?
Fertility Center.
Oh, wow. Okay, I can pronounce that. But I thought like Juanita or something.
Juanita is the big hospital group that we are part of.
Okay.
As we have lots of international patients, it's much easier if we just say Fertility Center.
Okay.
It will be easier for all.
Yes, of course. So here we are at the Fertility Center in Mallorca. Now, the reason why I'm here, one of the reasons, is to discuss about international fertility choices. So for those of us in Canada and the United States, it can get quite exorbitant. And I know that there is a slightly better cost, and I think the drug costs are actually a little cheaper here. So, but what I also want to talk about is embryoscope, because I haven't talked about this topic at all yet. And there's more and more clinics that are choosing to use it. So can we just start with that and tell us what it actually is?
Okay, perfect. Yes, the embryoscope is an incubator that right now we use for all our procedures. And what it makes, we put the embryos inside, and instead of having to take the embryos out to check how is the development, the embryoscope takes photos every 10 minutes. So after that, we have a video, like time-lapse video, and we can see the evolution of the embryos.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, we have a better embryo selection, and also we don't have to be manipulating the embryos all the time.
Right. So because here they started out with it as an option, but now for the past 2 years, you've been utilizing embryoscope for everyone that's doing an IVF. So
we have the option if a patient for any reason don't want the embryoscope, of course he can choose that he doesn't want it. But the reality is that all our patients have the embryoscope and they use it in all the treatments.
Well, of course, why not, right? Because here we are, just the thought of, oh gosh, like, what, is it going to impact our embryos when we take it out and then put it under the microscope and then put it back in on day 3, right? So,
well, we have here, and you said day 3, but here we have to say that most of our transfers are in blastocysts. We do more day 5, which makes it, I think, more important even to have the embryoscope, because that that part from day 3 to day 5 is crucial for the embryos, really. So
absolutely, and actually for most places we are utilizing day 5 embryos now, especially because especially in the Canada and the United States, because most people are doing PGS testing,
genetic testing,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know you said that about 50% of people are coming as international patients.
In this clinic, because Mallorca has a very good flight connections and we are very used to have foreigners, I think it makes easier. As you know, IVF treatments are very, very hard for the patients. I think it's one of the most stressing procedures that you can go through. And going to a place where you know that everything is going to be easy. It's going to be easy to find a hotel. It's going to be easy to have transfers. It's going to be easy to travel, to have communication. Everybody speaks English. I think we have lots of foreign patients.
And I know that currently there's no direct flights to Mallorca, but I do know, at least at the hotel that I'm currently staying at, they literally just told me last night that they're going to start having a direct flight from Toronto and probably something like New York, and I'm not sure where else that's going to fly into Mallorca. So for those of you who are considering perhaps easing your pocketbook while simultaneously having a vacation, doing an IVF cycle, it's not a bad deal.
No, it's a very good idea. And you can either come with, if you have already family, it's a very good place to be with family. So I think it's easy.
Yeah, for sure. So, you go and, because you're not really allowed to do much exercise anyway, so might as well go to the beach, right? And have
and good weather.
And good weather. Oh, yes. And just so you know, I'm not the one that likes humidity. And this place, there's a nice little breeze. It's hot, but I'm not like sweating my butt off. So this is great. Is there anything else that you can tell us about the program here?
Well, we have, right now we are doing all kinds of treatments. Of course, we have IVF, we have inseminations, of course. We have a very strong program with egg donation.
Okay, very important to know.
Very important, yeah. And we have, we are lucky because being in an island, sometimes getting an egg donor is quite hard, but we work with a bank, with an egg bank. So for us, it's quite easy to get the egg donor. And usually for us, it takes less than a week to get the donor.
Okay, so where's the egg bank?
In Spain, in the peninsula, close to Madrid. Yeah.
Okay, so someone like me or someone of color.
Exactly. So it's not just the phenotype that we are used to here in Spain, which is very easy, but of all kinds of phenotypes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's very important.
All right, and so just to clarify, guys, when we say egg banking, that means that you already have the eggs stored up from a young person versus a live donor that's coming to the clinic.
Which is very important, especially if you are coming on holidays or you have a certain time that you are going to be in Spain, because sometimes if you have to put it just synchronized with the donors, it makes it very, very complicated. So with this, you know, if you're going to do a donation, before starting the process, you know exactly when you are going to have the embryo transfer.
Okay.
So that makes it very easy.
Yes. Now, then, are we using a satellite clinic back in our home country to get our lining going, or do we do that here?
It depends on what the patient needs. Some patients prefer, if you are living close to Spain, maybe you want to come because you can come in the day, you can fly from Germany or the UK. But if you are in the States or if you are in Canada, you don't want to come just for an ultrasound. And that's something that is very, very easy. And the communication with doctors is very easy as well. So sometimes we just say, we need this kind of scan. If your doctor wants to talk with us, of course, we are going to talk with your doctor. If you want to pass us the ultrasound, is just fine.
So then for those of us in Canada and the US, I suppose then what will happen is then you'll have to pay a fee for the satellite clinic in your home country. And
what we usually do is if you have your doctor at home and he's going to do the ultrasound there, that's just fine. Mm-hmm. You will come for the treatment, and it depends on the number of patients, but usually that's not a problem for you.
Okay, so when you say you just come for the treatment, are you saying you're doing the S-trace or the priming protocol for the lining here?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're not doing any of that there. So you're doing the baseline testing perhaps back at home. Okay, mm-hmm. So then how long is the person here?
Well, it depends. Let's say that is egg donation, for example. So for egg donation, you are going to need to have oral medication for around 3 weeks. Of course, if you want to start that medication at home, you can start that medication at home. With the patients from abroad, but Germany, the UK, what we usually do is they come for a first visit. We do everything, all the testing, all the needs, the ultrasounds, we give them the medication, everything, and they go back home. They start taking the medication there, and they just come here for the embryo transfer.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
The first time that they come, the husband usually leaves the sample, the sperm sample.
Of course. Yeah,
of course, because we need that. Well, if the patient comes from far away, he or she, they will have to decide whether it's better to come one time to do all this and go back, or if they prefer to come and do it all straight. So I think it's very, very important with all this process to personalize, to see what's better for the couple or the person in that moment.
Is there a guarantee program?
We don't have that, no.
No. Okay. Because of course it's not necessarily true that it'll happen right like that every time.
Most of the times it's not like that. It's through a very long process, very frustrating. When it happens, it's the best that can happen to you. But as you've been doing this for a long time, you know that most of the times it's not that easy. No. It seems very easy on paper, but then when you start the process, it's harder than you might have thought.
Absolutely. So again, I guess the buyer beware thing, it sounds amazing to be on holiday, but it may not be the first time. Like it might, it might not be the magic bullet. It sounds great though to be on a holiday to do it though.
Mm-hmm. You are more relaxed. And of course, what is very, very important, at least I think it's during this process, it's so crucial that all your questions, all the things that you need to talk to be solved, to have somebody to talk. And I think it's very important that the person that you are doing the treatment with, you have confidence. And so if you are here, it's very easy to come to the clinic like we did today and to meet in person and feel relaxed and know that if it works, it's going to be great. But if there is a problem, you are going to feel okay as well. And but with patients away, of course, now we have Skype, we have FaceTime. So what we usually do is we have a very close contact with the patients by Skype and to see each other's faces and have the questions, all the questions, to try to make it the easiest as possible.
Okay, so then the question is, if they have an initial consultation with you via Skype, how much does it cost?
The first, for free, of course.
Free, guys. Hey, there's no harm.
It's the only
so
thing that is no, but of course, I mean, you have to know the people before starting to pay and before you don't know if you want to do the treatment or not. So of course, yeah.
Okay, this is awesome. So in Canada, and well, actually maybe not in Canada. No, in Canada it would still be fee service, and in the United States for sure, I know that it costs an arm and a leg just for the first consultation.
No. Here it's for free because especially if it's somebody from Canada, you have to be very sure that you want to come and you have to travel and you have to take your work. You have to take days of work.
Yes.
So of course, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, guys. If you're going to do an IVF, a lot of people have to take days off work anyway. So why the heck not do it in a country that is beautiful? And vacation, right?
I love Mallorca.
Yeah, Mallorca. Oh my gosh, I haven't even explored it. I just went to the cathedral. We're going to go drive to the beach tomorrow. So it's a consideration, right? So yeah, it's good. And
but yeah, of course. And if you have any questions, just feel free to send us an email.
So what's your email address?
It's quite long, so I think the best thing is because it's
we'll post it. We'll post it
because it's very long, and I know that nobody's going to get it the first time. So
okay, fine. And is the actual website long too? That you can just say? Okay, fine. All right, we're gonna post it. We're gonna tell you what it is. But wow, what a cool idea! I mean, if I was to do it all over again, perhaps I would actually try an IVF here. Really?
Well, in your next life.
Yeah. Well, no. I hope never. Never.
I hope in your next life you will have the babies.
Yeah. Natural like that.
Exactly. I wish that.
But for those of us who are watching this, we know that it doesn't happen like that, and we look at alternative means, and this is just another strategy of perhaps lightening the load, because as Dr. Cristina is saying here, how stressful it is, and as we all know, and as research shows, that the stress of going to a fertility clinic is equal to that of someone facing cancer and heart disease. So, coming to a clinic here will be a little less stressful than,
I hope so.
Right? And honestly, you're taking time off work to do this. And I'm thinking like, gosh, maybe I should hang out here for a year and help you guys.
Of course, if you're more than welcome. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, okay. All my patients are watching. No, don't leave me. But this is great. Okay, thank you so much for joining me here. And I just contacted last minute thinking, gosh, like here in Mallorca, and I'm like, are there any IVF clinics? And certainly there are more than one, right?
Yeah. We are, because we are very popular destination for IVF treatments.
Wow, it's amazing. So this is a destination fertility or assisted reproductive, what do they call it? Tourism.
Yeah, but the thing I have, because now when you say like fertility tourism or things like that, we have to think that it's very important security as well. So
yes,
and that you are not going to a country where you don't know what's happening, you don't know the egg donors, what kind of tests they have had. So in Spain, at least, we have very strong laws, and we work very well. So I think that's very important as well.
Okay, and so that's why in the egg donation program, you said, how much was it again?
6,500.
6,500 euro. That's not bad, guys. Because I know it's up to, well, no, I'm thinking of fresh donor cycles, but this is egg banking. And is there any kind of guarantee? So some programs in the US, for example, they'll say, okay, you got 6 embryos or something like that. Do you guys do anything like that?
We pack from, it depends on the eggs, it depends on what the patient wants. We usually get 6 oocytes. But it depends, of course, if the patient wants more, we can get more.
Well, of course.
But we don't guarantee, we don't have the guarantee of an embryo.
Okay. All right. Anyway, do your own homework, but at least I'm starting the conversation for you to try it out. And if you just want to do straight up IVF here, then you can totally do that. Just because, again, why not? Because it's a little less of a stressful load on you, right? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk some more.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, guys. We'll talk to you next time. And actually, I think tomorrow, in fact, I'm going to be in Brussels talking to another. She's a researcher, and she's doing something really cool and crazy, but we'll talk about that. Oh, no, that's in 2 days. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now. Have a great, fantastic day, and we'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, check out my book, Pathways to Pregnancy. And I do have my upcoming monthly live fertility circle, which is happening on a Sunday. We'll call it brunch time, between 11 and 1 Eastern Standard Time. All right, on the second Sunday of September. All right, take care. Bye for now. Mwah. Thank you.